Now she's teasing a big announcement that she claims will result in some of her opponents being arrested and charged.
Also new tonight, Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard is suing some village trustees over Monday's meeting.
Mayor Tiffany Henyard's reign in Dolton, Illinois, is far from over, but her hold on power is becoming more controversial by the day. With accusations of misuse of funds, shady deals, and extravagant spending on personal luxuries, residents are growing increasingly frustrated. Tensions are running high as her critics push back, and a looming legal battle could change everything. Will Tiffany's opponents finally find a way to bring her down? Or is she simply too powerful to be stopped? The drama is heating up, and the stakes have never been higher. What's next for Dolton? Stay tuned. Hey guys, I am Olivia. Welcome to Red Rumbles. Here, we're bringing you the hottest stories, the wildest controversies, and the power plays that no one else dares to expose. From explosive political showdowns to intense celebrity drama and combat sports clashes, it's all unfolding right here. If you're ready to stay ahead of the drama and catch every new twist, hit that subscribe button and join the action on Red Rumbles. Recently surviving a recall attempt on a technicality, Mayor Tiffany Henyard isn't letting this close call quiet her. With a self-assured stance, she's back in the spotlight, ready to face her critics head-on. However, her confidence is clashing with a community increasingly frustrated by her leadership style and actions. What's more, Henyard has hinted at a game-changing announcement, one she claims could lead to arrests. But what is she implying here? And how will this impact the village's already chaotic environment? The public response to Henyard's persistence is divided. On one side, supporters believe her resilience indicates a strong leader willing to fight for the village, no matter the resistance. On the other, critics argue that her refusal to step aside reflects self-interest more than public service. With the stakes rising and accusations flying, there's no telling what's next for Dolton under her watch.
I am about to address some things as the supervisor. There will be no comments, there will be anything. It'll just be me addressing you guys to tell you what's going on.
Tiffany Henyard making a late appearance at the Dolton Village Board meeting this evening. That meeting was being held at the Park District building since Village Hall cannot legally accommodate the crowds at a typical meeting.
The latest village meeting might have seemed ordinary, but it quickly transformed into a dramatic display of division. Arriving at the gathering with an undeniable sense of authority, Henyard was ready to assert her power. This wasn't just any regular village board meeting. It was one of her first appearances since surviving the recall, and she seemed determined to make an impression. This meeting began with a prayer from William Moore, a former water department head and loyal Henyard supporter. Though no longer employed by the village, Moore remains a vocal supporter, showing up at Henyard's request with an intense, sermon-like approach. His prayer was filled with fiery rhetoric, calling for divine protection against opposition, and declaring victory over critics. As each line echoed through the room, it was hard not to sense the building tension. But for those who've seen Moore at these gatherings before, it wasn't surprising he's developed a reputation for over-the-top displays of loyalty to Henyard. Following the prayer, the meeting took a sharp turn. One trustee, Ed Steves, voiced his thoughts by acknowledging the recall attempt, lauding the courage of residents who'd voted in favor. At the same time, he extended a polite congratulation to Henyard for her technical victory. This attempt at balance was clear, but Henyard's past reactions hinted that she wouldn't take it lightly. Anyone who's watched Henyard in action knows she doesn't settle for modest gestures. She's not shy about rubbing a victory in the face of her opponents, and this was no exception. As if the tension inside the room wasn't enough, Henyard had planned a separate agenda meeting, leading to confusion among village residents. With meetings in different locations, Dolton residents were left wondering what was going on. In a twist, the meeting at Village Hall was canceled shortly after it began due to a lack of quorum, raising questions about organization and priorities within Henyard's administration. While residents were still trying to keep up with the developments, Henyard seized the moment to publicly thank Dolton for their ongoing support, recalling her landslide election with 82% of the vote. She took this opportunity to direct criticism at trustees, accusing them of wasting over $500,000 taxpayer dollars in the recall attempt. But Henyard's track record with fiscal responsibility hasn't been without controversy, and her own spending practices quickly came under scrutiny. Trustee Tammy Brown wasn't shy about confronting Henyard, voicing concerns over recent village expenses, including $2,000 on banners that hadn't been approved by the board. Brown's critique hit hard as she pointed out the questionable nature of this spending.
You could feel the anger tonight at a Board of Trustees meeting in Thornton Township. The board and citizens looking for accountability to their finances, while the township supervisor
labeling it unnecessary and calling Henyard's approach toward village funds reckless. But banners are only the beginning. Over the years, Henyard has faced several accusations regarding her spending, with critics alleging she has used public funds for extravagant purposes. From luxury flights and five-star hotels to dinners at upscale restaurants, Henyard's expenses have raised eyebrows. And then there's her Amazon shopping sprees, with reports showing a $443,000 charge in a single day, a sum many can't even fathom. Henyard's spending habits have made her a target, fueling the growing dissatisfaction among residents who see a disconnect between her actions and her claims of fiscal responsibility. One of Henyard's past statements reemerged during this meeting, a clip in which she passionately argued against raising property taxes, emphasizing the struggles of seniors on fixed incomes. In that moment, she seemed to stand as an advocate for Dolton's most vulnerable. Fast forward to today, and this message feels hollow for many residents. Henyard's critics argue that while she publicly condemns wasteful spending, her actions paint a different picture. It's not just the big-ticket expenses that are fueling this perception of hypocrisy.
A Dolton home that she leased to Mayor Tiffany Henyard has filed eviction papers. She says Henyard has not paid her rent, and now she wants her.
Now she's teasing a big announcement that she claims will result in some of her opponents being arrested and charged.
Henyard's critics say her leadership style seems more focused on personal benefit than on truly serving Dolton. To them, her actions suggest a leader more interested in protecting her image than in addressing Dolton's needs. And this perception is driving a wedge between Henyard and her community. Throughout the meeting, Henyard highlighted various projects she claimed would benefit Dolton: new basketball courts, a splash pad, and a dog park among them. While these initiatives sound promising on paper, many Dolton residents have grown skeptical. Henyard's announcements about these projects come amid increasing reports of the village's financial troubles, and to critics, these improvements feel more like distractions than real solutions. One significant point of contention involves a $600,000 grant application for the Greenwood Falls projects, which includes several of Henyard's proposed additions. For residents, the grant represents both a hopeful step and a glaring irony. While the village is working to secure funds for these projects, Henyard's past expenditures continue to loom over her administration. Adding another layer to Dolton's complicated landscape is Keith Freeman, the village administrator known for his checkered past. Freeman has faced allegations of bankruptcy fraud, and yet he holds onto his position, citing whistleblower protections. In his latest report, Freeman announced the $600,000 grant application for the new recreational facilities. But to many residents, Freeman's involvement in these projects feels tainted by his history. Nicknamed Keith the Thief by some, Freeman's role has only added to the skepticism surrounding Henyard's administration, and many wonder how someone with his background continues to operate within the village government. As the Dolton drama unfolds, residents are speaking up, and social media is alive with commentary. Among the reactions, a particularly bold comment stands out, with one user describing Henyard as a compulsive liar. For some, this statement sums up their frustration with her leadership style which they say lacks transparency and accountability. Others are more concerned about the impact her behavior may have on her daughter, questioning whether Henyard's approach to leadership sets a troubling example. Another viewer's comment captures a common sentiment: hot air from Tiffany Henyard all the time. For these critics, Henyard's grand promises have become a pattern, where plans are announced with great fanfare but never seem to fully materialize. They argue that Henyard's focus on projects like the splash pad and basketball courts feels more like public relations than genuine concern for Dolton's future. The meeting ended on an awkward note when Henyard turned to the village clerk for any closing announcements. Surprised to find the clerk had nothing to report, Henyard's reaction was one of disbelief. In a meeting filled with high-stakes announcements and fierce confrontations, the lack of a closing statement felt strangely anticlimactic. Perhaps it was fitting. The tension and unresolved issues left hanging seemed to echo the uncertain future Dolton faces under Henyard's administration. In yet another twist, Henyard's landlord has recently filed eviction papers, claiming that Henyard has been dodging both her and her rent payments for months. This situation raises questions about Henyard's personal finances and fuels the speculation about her management of public funds. How is it that a sitting mayor finds herself embroiled in a legal battle over unpaid rent? To Dolton residents, this latest issue only adds fuel to the fire, painting a picture of a leader who struggles to manage even her own affairs. As Henyard continues to make bold promises, Dolton's residents are increasingly divided over her intentions. For some, her dedication to improvement projects reflects a forward-thinking leader, but to others, her priorities appear misplaced, more focused on maintaining power than on making real progress. The lavish spending, the political theatrics, and the lack of transparency have made it difficult for many to trust in Henyard's leadership. Dolton's financial challenges and mounting debt signal a reality far removed from Henyard's optimistic promises. What lies ahead for Dolton and its controversial mayor? Will Henyard's administration find a way to resolve these issues, or will her spending and personal choices continue to sow division? As the political stakes rise, the tension in Dolton only grows. So stay tuned to Red Rumbles as we keep you updated on the latest twists and turns in this unfolding drama. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to catch the next chapter in Dolton's ongoing saga.